What if Ruby was Akainu's daughter? Part 2. We watch as Ruby and Fang are approaching their ship. As we get a clear look at the ship, harbored at the docks. It's not your average marine ship. The ship, instead of being the usual navy colors of green and black, the base of the ship is black with rose petals going across the sides. And the sails are nothing but white with red rose petals on it. And then the flag up top has the marine symbol with roses around it. And the flag, instead of being white, is a darkish, gray with red rose petals. As Fang and Ruby board the ship. So, ma'am, as he walks to the helm, where to? The next target? To the next target, I suppose. But first, we should pick up the others. Who first? Caroline should be on an island nearby. Let's pick her up. Then we'll search for Victor a little bit later. He's currently still at Marineford, working on some ships. Very well, ma'am. Fang would just spin the helm before, sailing away. As Ruby would just walk around her ship, she would look and see the aquarium as she walks around. As a little bit of the floor has a little bit of like an aquarium thing, with a little bit of like a fish on the side of the boat, to where they can easily grab fish out for food. Fang's idea to add to the ship, which Ruby implied. As she walks into the ship and towards the kitchen. As she opens the fridge and grabs something to eat. As she would quickly look around before taking off her mask, revealing her silver eyes and face. As she would sigh, well, if we're going to make our trip back to Marineford in a few days, I'll pick up Victor, and I may have a run-in with a few admirals. Father is most likely planning something, or doing something important. But anyway, as she would eat her sandwich, before putting her mask on, as we go to Fang, who's looking, off the ship and seeing some marine ships in battle. As he would pull out a transponder snail before calling Ruby. As Ruby would pick up her transponder snail, which is, technically, the shell of the transponder snail is like a rose. So she would grab the transponder snail. Yes, Fang? We got some marine ships under attack up ahead. You want us to assist? Or, it's me and you for the most part. Sure thing, I'm coming top deck now. As, click. Great. As they would sail towards the marine ships that are under fire by a pirate ship. As Ruby comes up the stairs and onto the deck of the ship, as she would look out, as we go to the Marines who are under attack, as they're firing their cannons and guns, as the pirates seemingly have the marine ships outmatched as they are outnumbered by 2 other ships. Captain, we are currently outnumbered. We've taken heavy losses. We've managed to take down 1 ship, but sir, it looks like our other ships are fleeing. Those cowards. As the captain has like a eye patch and one right arm, as he would go up to the deck, as he would grab a transponder snail that would echo throughout the parts. Marines, don't give up. We are Marines, the pride of the Navy. We can't let some pirates defeat us. As he looks over and sees another marine ship, but not the usual marine ship, coming their way. And don't worry, we've got some backup. as he had noticed the marine symbol on the top. As Ruby would get to the cannons, as she would just swing Crescent Rose, lighting all the cannons up, as they would fire, hitting a ship, causing it to leak, hitting it directly in the side. As then Ruby would make her way back towards the front of the ship, as she would stand on the very front of the ship, approaching the pirates. Alright, do you mind if I ram this thing into another pirate ship? As Ruby looks down, as seeing the metal plates surrounding the front of the ship, like it was made to ram. Permission granted, Fang. As it seemingly they are just going to line up right next to the ship, as then Fang quickly turns the helm to the left, causing the boat to quickly swerve as they ram into a ship. As Ruby jumps up before pulling out Crescent Rose, before slicing one pirate, as two pirates with a sword try to swing at her, as she would do a backflip before cutting both their heads off with Crescent Rose. As then she would move Crescent Rose before firing at three pirates. As then she noticed the captain up front giving out commands. "It's just one Marine! Get her!" As several pirates run towards her. And this is where Fang jumps from the other ship, landing on a pirate before spin kicking one and using Fishman Karate to hit another one off the boat. As one points a gun at Fang, as he quickly ducks before just using Fishman Karate, saying some water blasts towards the pirate, hitting him. As Ruby would focus her Crescent Rose to fire at the captain, as the captain hid behind the helm as it got shot to pieces. As the captain tries to flee to another pirate ship, as Fang is dealing with the simple cannon father of the pirates, as Ruby would rush towards the captain, simply just jumping over, stepping on some pirates' heads, causing them to fall to the ground. As the captain is about to, jump to seemingly another pirate ship, she would release her Conqueror's Hockey, causing everyone aboard the ship that has weak will to fall unconscious. As Ruby would look at the captain, who's just seemingly has one hand over the rail of the ship, as she would walk towards the pirate, before getting a good look at the pirate captain's face. "What do you know?" As she lifts up the pirate, "It's one of our targets." As she would grab the flag, or she would order Fang to grab the flag before Ruby just hands the pirate over to the Marines. As the Marines grab him and put him in a cell with the rest of his crew that are still alive. As the rest of the Marines had gotten the courage from watching Ruby fight to finish the battle. As the captain of the ship would walk over to Ruby. "Thank you, ma'am, for your assistance. You are obviously on a Marine vessel. May I know the name of your unit?" "I am Captain Rose. As of my unit, or, ship, that is none of your concern, and that's classified information." "Very well. I will at least need to see your documents to confirm you're a Marine vessel." As she quickly pulls out the documents out of her pocket, as the Marine captain would scroll through it with his one hand. "Alright, everything's good? Where are you to?" "We're currently going to an island to retrieve one of my shipmates." Very well. You have a nice day. I will have to make a report back to headquarters." "Do that." As Ruby would run and then jump across the water, simply just jumping over the water and landing on the ship, where, Fang was just sitting there waiting for his captain. "It seems you're back. Had to discuss something with the Marine captain." "Well, it doesn't matter to me. After all, we got the job done. The pirates are dealt with." "So where to?" "Oh wait, stupid question. I'm going to pick up, Carolina." Anyway, as Fang would walk to the helm before they set sail once again, as seemingly a few hours would go by, As they would approach an island with a small city at the shores, as it was basically at Alabasta. They were approaching the shore of Alabasta. As they had docked, as Ruby starts to walk off the ship, as she starts to walk in the town with Fang. I'm not going to walk deep into Alabasta if this is where Carolina's going to be. I'm going to wait on the ship, ma'am. Fair point. You may go back to the ship. As she would seemingly walk towards the bar, as they would hear some ruckus, as they were cheering, "Drink, drink, drink," as a girl in a seemingly a cowboy outfit and a marine jacket would just be drinking, as she had finished like a third gallon of beer. That's what I call good wine, or well, beer. Bring another. She seemingly to be a little drunk. As Ruby would enter, as people would see that she's another Marine, as she had gotten another drink before starting to drink it, as Ruby would walk towards, "So this is where you've been, Carolina." As she would look back before spitting out the beer, "Captain, I thought I had a few days." "It's been 2 days." As she starts to look around, as she had spit in the bartender's face, "Oh, my apologies," as she pulls out a stack of cash. "For the mess." As she would get up, "So, Captain, what do you need me for?" "Well, we have been ordered to hunt down some pirates. We've already taken down a few targets. I've come here to pick you up." "Oh, are we going to get Victor too?" "We'll be heading back to Marineford shortly to pick Victor up." "Very well, Captain. But come on, let's have a drink. We can spend at least a little bit. After all, how long did the Fleet Admiral give you?" "A week to complete this job." As she starts to laugh, "Really, a week? With you, Captain, you could complete this job in 3 days." "That's what I told him." "Well, with the new change in Fleet Admirals, the Navy has been run quite differently. Don't you agree?" "I can't talk much about the Fleet Admiral, Carolina. You know that." "Yeah, I know, but you can enjoy a drink every once in a while." "You're obviously drunk." "What? No. I'm just simply enjoying several drinks." "Come on, we need to get to the ship." Also, if you want to name the ship, suggest names for the ship in the comment section. As Caroline's like, "Come on, just one more drink." As Ruby would grab her shoulder before squeezing a little bit. "No." As she sighed, "All right, Captain, I'm coming." As she gets up, simply stumbling, as Ruby catches her, as they start to make their way towards the ship. "Why did you have to be in Alabasta?" "Oh, they had pretty good drinks here, Also, gotta..." As she seemingly is just rambling on about something. "You really need to get rid of that drinking habit you have." "Oh, come on. Victor likes to drink with me." "No, he doesn't, and every time he drinks with you, there's always complaints." "Aw, was the crocodile angry at me?" As Ruby has just had enough and decides to knock her out, as she picks up Carolina and starts walking back to the ship. As she walks back to the ship, Fang is simply has his foot on the helm, leaning back in a chair, just enjoying some water. I wonder, what is the captain doing right now? I know she went to go get Carolina, but I wonder if I could visit the capital of Alabasta. Although it's very hot, and I don't normally like to get in the affairs of a kingdom that doesn't really support the Navy, I am curious about exploring a bit." As then he would hear footsteps of Ruby. Looks like the captain's back. As he looks a little bit shocked as she's carrying Carolina. Was that necessary, Captain?" "You know how Carolina can get when she's drunk." Touche. Now, shall we, take her below deck, or... I'll take her below deck. You steer it off to Marineford. We need to get Victor. Very well, Captain. As he simply gets back to the helm and just simply starts sailing. As Ruby takes Carolina into the ship before seemingly setting her on a couch. As she would then go to her quarters. As she walks in and staying on her chair once again. As her transponder snail starts to ring, as she picks it up, click. Ruby. As it happens to be her father. Yes, father? I have a little bit of a report. There'll be a new admiral at Marineford. A new admiral, you say, father? Yes. This one's been appointed admiral due to his devil fruit and power with hockey. Especially observation. We'll be there in about a few hours, maybe a day. We're heading back to Marineford to pick up one of my crewmates. Then we'll finish the hunting of the pirates you have me going after. Very well. Remember, let no one see your face. I know. I'm almost complete with the task you've given me. And how is the fleet admiral position, father? It is well. A little bit of trouble with the Marines, but it's doing well. Anyway, just hurry up and finish your task. Click. As Ruby's holding her transponder snail as the fleet admiral hung up. As she puts down her transponder snail, click. As she starts to look at her documents once more. And she looks at the last pirate they were supposed to go after. Which this pirate has a, paramecia type devil fruit. As she's looking at the picture. As this pirate is a fishman with a paramecia type devil fruit. Held up on a remote island fortress. A remote island fortress base held by a pirate. How disrespectful. Probably stole it from a country, and now the country wants the Marines, us, to take care of it. We'll head there once we have Victor. And of course I'll have to get the others as well, but I'll save that for after the mission. As then we hear, rumbling outside Ruby's door. As Ruby walks to the door and opens it, as Carolina seems to be talking in her sleep. Another round for everyone. As Ruby would put her hand on her mask. Out of all of my crewmates, you gotta be the most, one I have to put up with the most, Carolina. As Ruby would make her way to the top of the ship, or to the deck of the ship. As she got to the deck of the ship, as she would just sit there at the deck of the ship for a few hours as they approach Marineford. Alright, ma'am, it seems we're approaching Marineford now. We'll be setting dock very soon. As she would look up at Marineford, that was rebuilt after the the War with Whitebeard, Marineford. As she looks up at, Marineford. It haven't been here in a while. Hey, Captain, if I may ask something, why did you join after Marineford? As she looks at Fang. Reasons. That's all. Very well, Captain. We're approaching shore now. And that is the end of What If Ruby Was Akainu's Daughter Part 2. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.